This is Strange Truths and Tall Tales, the product of Newfoundland podcast. It's a place for people who are into Newfoundland stories and pop culture. Stick with me and we'll explore everything from murderous mummers to partridge berry pie, with a healthy dose of arts and entertainment too. It's a crazy mix, I know, but it sort of makes sense to me. I'm Robert. I write at productofnewfoundland.ca, and in this episode, I've got space on my mind. Everything from gravity to meteors and the end of mankind. Up first is a story I call The Day the Sky Fell. It's about a spectacular meteor shower here in Newfoundland nearly 100 years ago. Maybe spectacular isn't the right word. Terrifying. That might be better. From there, we'll lighten it up with some dancing astronauts and have a chat with Pete and Spencer of With Violet, who just a few weeks ago released a video for their song Gravity. It's full of space-age fun. They're climbing new musical mountains, too, with a brand new EP. We'll talk all about it, including a conspicuous blue rotary dial telephone. From there, we'll head to the waters off Bombay for the segment Monstrous Things, where in 1943, a hungry horned beast made a frightening appearance. Let's get to it. You're traveling through the fog, and just ahead is an island of forests, fairies, and fiends. Your next stop, Newfoundland. And these are its strange truths and tall tales. As a kid, I loved space. I don't know why, really. I guess it just seemed like the future. Like it was this unexplored frontier hanging just above my head. I don't know when it started, but I have this memory. At least I think it's a memory. I was maybe like 7 years old. I'd been playing outdoors with my friends, right at the edge of the woods. It was in my backyard, nowhere from my house. It got dark, and my friends went home. I was left by myself to clean up. Just as I gathered the last of my things, I turned across the backyard, and the sky lit up. From behind me streaked a shooting star like nothing I'd ever seen before, or have seen since. It looked like a white-orange fireball with a long tail. It quickly disappeared behind the hilltops. It frightened me. And that's probably colored my memory, because I don't think it could possibly have been as big or bright as I remember it. If it had been, I'm sure many people would have seen it, and I don't remember anybody talking about it. As far as I know, it was a private experience. Nearly a century ago, another meteor shot overhead in Newfoundland. But it definitely wasn't a private experience. It was seen by hundreds, some of whom thought they were seeing the end of the world. Picture this. It was Monday, October 19th, 1936, and Martha Cram was busy. She was standing outside, leaning on the rough wooden rail next to the clothesline. She had a bedsheet in her hand. From her vantage point, she could see clotheslines all around Old Perlican. If there was anything as certain as church on Sunday, it was laundry on Monday, she thought, if the weather was suitable anyway. And it was more than suitable. There was a brisk wind, and the early morning fog had cleared in favor of low clouds. There were even occasional flashes of blue sky. It was a beautiful autumn day, really, and being outside, even if it was to do laundry, was pleasant. It won't be this way for much longer, Martha thought as she put the last clothespin in place. Winter's coming. She glanced at the dogberry tree across the garden. It was covered in bright crimson berries. And like as not, it'll be a hard one too, she sighed. Before she took her eyes away from the dogberries, it happened. A tiny point of light appeared above the tree. Right before her eyes, the point erupted into a ball of flame, and it appeared to be hurtling right toward her. She grabbed the wooden handrail and ducked. The object streaked above her head, followed by a tail of fire and smoke. It splashed into the ocean just beyond the community, sending a column of water high into the air. She'd never seen anything like it. No one in Old Perlican had. Her heart was racing. Martha looked back to the sky, terrified this might be just the beginning of, well, she didn't know what, she was too afraid to imagine it. Martha didn't know it yet, but she wasn't alone. In New Harbor, reports of downed planes spread to the community as flaming debris was seen in the sky. In Conception Harbor, an object reckoned to be maybe 18 feet long fell out of the sky. It landed with a crash, sending a cloud of smoke into the air. More than one person worried they were witnessing the end of the world. Obviously they weren't. It was a meteor shower, but you can't blame them for not thinking meteor. The event was much bigger and didn't look anything like a typical meteor shower. For one thing, the fireballs were visible in broad daylight. They were spotted between 2:45 and 3:30 in the afternoon. On top of that, people actually seemed to witness impacts, as with the column of water sighted in Old Perlican. It was unusual. Unusual enough that it even made the international news. This is what the Examiner out of Tasmania had to say about it. Meteor shower causes panic. An investigation of reports that aeroplanes in flames were falling into Fortune and Trinity Bays this afternoon disclosed a shower of meteors over the island. The illuminations were so brilliant, even at midday, that people rushed to their windows in panic. One small settlement, believing that the end of the world had come, was gravely alarmed. A huge ball of fire trailing white smoke fell into Fortune Bay, setting fire to a fisherman's boat. Closer to home, the Daily News, published in St. John's, suggested the event was a rare supermeteor, a large meteor that survived the Earth's atmosphere longer than a typical shooting star would. They speculated the meteor exploded above the island, sending its debris along the coast. I'm sure no one who witnessed it ever forgot. It must have been spectacular and terrifying. My childhood memories of shooting stars pale in comparison. Okay, let's leave space debris behind. It's time to talk dancing astronauts. With Violet is an alt-pop band based in St. John's. They've got catchy hooks, cohesive musicality, and nuanced songwriting. Their sheer energy has to be heard to be believed. To say they're up-tempo, that's downplaying it. In 2021, the band released their debut album, Long Story Short. It included the popular track With Money. They followed that up with 2 Christmas singles, which, if you follow the Product of Newfoundland.ca playlists, you've definitely heard. This year, they expanded their canon with 2 new EPs, Saturday Nights In and Your Sunday Best. The former gave us the track Gravity and its dancing astronaut-filled video. Band members Pete and Spencer join me to talk about With Violet, their music, and the importance of a blue telephone.
It's been a big year for you guys. Yes,
yeah. We put in a lot of work in the past year, and we're very excited about all the work that we put in and the projects that we're releasing.
We got to play with the beaches, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was
a big moment for us, and walk off the earth this year. We've had a good year, but we're looking forward to next year too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I said you guys were having a big year, I was definitely thinking about the Iceberg Alley performance. That was huge.
Yes.
Sorry, I think you're being modest. You've had a bigger year than that. You've been nominated for 2 Music NL awards.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
And some pretty cool ones.
Yeah, no, we're alongside some great company in those categories. Alternative Artist of the Year and Group of the Year. You know, we're up there with like Anna and Eric and Young Tree and the Blooms, and just so many great names. And we're excited. Like, Music NL Week is always so much fun, and just to be nominated alongside some people like that, and just to see everybody too is going to be fun, because we we all live in the same city for the most part, and
it's very rare.
We don't see each other too much.
Exactly. Music NL becomes like this big hangout for us, which is just incredibly fulfilling as an artist to be around those kinds of people, and then come from it and create new things, which is,
but we're excited.
We're very excited to have that honor.
I'm excited too. I'm excited because we're about to get new music from you guys.
Yes. Just in a couple of days.
I know, imminently. By the time people hear this, it'll be out there and they can go check it out like right away.
Excellent. We hope people are liking it. We think that people are going to love it. So it's definitely some of the best stuff that we've been creating or ever created.
Yeah, we feel like it's some of our best work, for sure. Your Sunday Best, you can listen to it anywhere now. And there's 3 songs on the EP. Mountains Are Calling, Toxic Tiffany, and Not News. And we're very excited to see how it makes people feel. You know, Mountains Are Calling in particular has this energy and this feeling that we're just really excited to see people move to, dance to, and just feel good.
Exactly. We're also excited because in these 3, Sarah Newell, who is our saxophone player and co-lead singer, she's also back on a song for this collection. So it's great to have the team kind of moving around again.
All right. I've heard, I think I've heard a snippet of Mountains Are Calling on your Instagram lately, and it sounds like I don't know, I want to say classic with Violet, but I don't know if you guys have been around long enough for me to say classic with Violet, but it's everything I love about you guys. So
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
it seems like you're still delivering there. Um, how did you guys come into being? What's the With Violet origin story?
Oh, it's a long one. So it mostly is just a story of friendship and relationships. But Spence and I were best friends since kindergarten, and we started our first band in grade 5. And then growing up, we met Cadigan in high school. And then Caddy and us, the 3 of us were in a band called Cold Summer. And then after Cold Summer ended, that was like our university band. Spencer had met Sarah, who was deadly saxophonist, deadly singer. So we all got together. And then Hunter and Caddy were great friends, and we were looking for a new drummer at the time to come in and play with us. And so it was excellent. It really is just like a story of new friendships and new connections, which makes playing together really fun.
Yeah.
It sounds organic, like just a lot of crossing paths and similar interests resulting in some great music.
Yeah, and a lot of like deep roots, a lot of love in there too, which is really helps.
I have maybe this is a revealing my ignorance kind of question. The name With Violet, is that a reference to something that I'm not getting?
No, it's not.
No, if you're not, no, if you're not getting it, neither are we. But no, we like to say these days, once you're with Violet, you're not going to want to be without.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing these days with the name. But people love to ask about the name, and we never have a solid answer. We should start just saying different things each time.
Yeah, something funnier and funnier.
That would be fun.
Yeah, right? But yeah, it's true. We like the color. Like we like the idea of having a color in our name, and then we kind of settled on Violet. And I think from there it was like, well, what Violet? And then it was like
who Violet,
where Violet, and then With Violet.
Yeah,
is what ultimately stuck. But it makes press releases annoying. With Violet is what we write a lot.
When I listen to your music, I think I guess what I'm trying to ask you is, who are your influences?
Oh, great question. Do you want to go first?
You can.
I was gonna say, like, we have a wide range of influences. Like I came from a musical theater background, and Spencer came from not a musical theater background, but we've been writing together for a very long time. And then with Violet, we all bring in our own stuff. So there's like bands that I can think of that I love: Earth, Wind and Fire, Stevie Wonder, Micah, and then like some like smaller things, or well, I guess it's still eclectic, like Elton John. My gosh, help me out.
For myself, like lyrically in particular, Bernie Taupin, Elton John's co-writer, Paul McCartney, Paul Simon. Yeah. You know, there's some guys, some artists that we look up to for sure.
Big time.
And within the band, you know, like Pete said, it's such a big mixing pot of interests and this and that. Like our guitar player, Matthew Cadigan, he loves a lot of instrumental stuff.
Yeah.
And brings some of that to the table. And, you know, Sarah being a saxophone player, and Hunter's all over the map. He could play anything for you. He could listen to anything for you. But yeah, we all have different influences. But for myself, I would probably say it's the songwriters, Paul Simon, and people like that.
I think what we really like about like the artists, when I think of all the examples, is like a good marriage of the lyrics and the music. Like we try to make sure that our lyrics are just as interesting as our music, and our music is just as interesting as our lyrics. They both kind of have to have weight to them. So any bands that you can think of that are like that, I feel like it's not to sound like a jerk, but I think we try to emulate that.
I was surprised you didn't say Prince when I asked you.
Oh, I can't believe I didn't say Prince. I love Prince. Yeah.
I feel like I could hear Prince in there.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Prince, we love Prince. I think Prince is unreal. Prince is a big influence, specifically like from a performing standpoint. I like to do like that kind of high raspy, like just going nuts with it and having fun. And I think Prince does that in a lot of his tunes, but at the same time saying something. And so like the performance is great, but also like once again, from a musical standpoint, there's that consideration of I'm screaming, but why am I screaming? Like what's going on in my head?
There's an energy we're trying to capture there that we might look up to, you know, that he brought to the table.
Big time.
I've played a lot of pool listening to Prince.
Yeah.
But that's a very nice thing you said.
Yeah, thank you very much. That means a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, well, sincere. I hear it there. I read that you've worked on as many as 30 demos in prep for the Saturday Nights In and your Sunday Best.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
Lot of work, a lot of songwriting.
Yeah.
We so like specifically what we do when we're writing is everybody kind of brings some ideas and then we all work on them more. And what it tends to be is because Spencer and I are writers together anyways, we meet at least twice a week. So a lot of the ideas that we bring to the table, we bring together. So oh my gosh, I've lost my train of thought. What was the question? I've totally just blanked.
We had a lot of demos.
We had a lot of demos. Yeah.
It's okay. So so maybe it could have been a little bit more than 30, but that was a very cool thing for us. That was something that our manager Dave Shears kind of suggested for us to do, was get as much as we can on paper, get as much as we can, you know, put behind a microphone and on tape, and listen back, and like, you know, the differences we noticed over songs that were written a few months back and a few months forward. It was huge at times. And it was cool to be able to pick through that many songs and you know, say goodbye to the garbage and say hello to the ones that we liked, because they say you have to write 1,000 bad ones to write a good one, and we're still writing bad ones. So we're excited when people like the songs that we're putting out, because you know, to us, we're putting in a lot of hours and a lot of work, and as every musician and artist does. So it's nice when we find a piece that we're excited about. You could find those on Saturday Nights In, and you're gonna find them on your Sunday Best. It's some of the best stuff that we've ever done.
Yeah, I really think
and
so.
We're just super excited that it's out.
Yeah.
I'm curious about the titling. Does the title reveal anything about the themes of the two collections?
There's a lot behind the titles. We're gonna be kind of doing a bit more with that in the coming months. Our manager again, Dave, pushed us and helped us make this list of titles for the two EPs, where we're leading towards a full-length work. And these two EPs we kind of strategically titled to go together, and we're excited to eventually show the full work, which would be more songs than what is on these two EPs. But we're gonna be definitely diving into the themes of the titles a bit. Maybe photo shoot wise, we might get into some fun stuff.
So
in preparing to meet you guys today, I was looking back through your catalog, through your posts and stuff, and reading a bit about you to make sure that I could ask some sensible questions. And I noticed something that I didn't notice before, that I am sure is not an accident, but I got curious about it when I saw it. I've watched your video for Gravity, and anybody who hasn't watched it should go check it out. It's astronauts partying on a probably a Northeast Avalon looking kind of planet. I don't know. You look like you're having a great time in that video. And Pete, you are singing into a blue rotary dial telephone. The cover of your album also had a astronaut with a blue rotary dial telephone, which I didn't notice until well, I noticed it at the time. I guess I didn't make the connection that it was also in the video. Where did so did the album cover come first? Did the video come first, or the concept come first?
I believe, correct me as soon as I'm wrong, the album came first.
I gotta stop. No,
I believe the album came first, and I think it wasn't. I don't. Oh my gosh, I'm having a hard time here. There's no like lyric or specific story that went to it, but we brought it to our artist, Victoria, and she said, she just came back with this picture and they had the blue phone. And there was a conversation about like, do we like this phone? Do we not want this phone? Like, what's this phone represent? And through all of it, we were like, yeah, we like the phone. The phone's deadly. And then we just kind of wanted to play with the idea of gravity being the astronaut still calling home is really kind of like something we were leaning on, like calling you in your basement, you know, and having a good time with you kind of thing. So we like bringing back that imagery, and it's nothing like crazy like Taylor Swift kind of like planned, but we definitely wanted to do something cool with it.
Well, I mean, I knew it couldn't be an accident. Like, it had to be
Yeah.
on purpose. But I wasn't sure where the idea came from. And then I started thinking about it, and I thought, well, I like the cohesion of it. And I think With Violet is definitely a band that's cohesive. You already mentioned about your music writing and your lyrics and how they suit each other, how you put thought into both. And I think that cohesion evident in the picture as well. And then I also thought the phone, it's retro and it's cool. And I also think you guys are kind of retro cool. I thought it was good imagery.
It's awesome.
We were very excited. We love that artwork. We worked with Victoria Walsh on that, and we were excited with how it came out. We let her look into some of the lyrics for the songs too, and take some inspiration from the lyrics for the artwork, which was kind of cool. So we're excited for the full thing to come out together. And see everything come together there. So
cool.
Working with her was fun.
What was the experience of shooting the video like?
Oh, that was a hot day in August to be in spacesuits.
It was sweaty.
We were lucky. We worked with the same guys that we had worked with for the With Money music video that we had done. So that's Ryan.
Sorry, you go.
You can do it.
No, Ryan Flanagan, Kirk Stuckless, and Ben Murphy.
No, Mercer.
Yeah, I'm right.
But yeah, that day was a lot of fun. We were lucky that they kind of had this location in mind, and we had put some thought into the whole concept of the video. The blue phone, like we were just talking about, was a different color the morning we shot that video. We had to spray paint that blue the morning of the video, but Pete's pretty handy, so that was all good. But yeah, so that day it was a lot of fun, a lot of dancing again and again, and taking the helmets off and drinking water and all that
taping
stuff.
Up our spacesuits.
Yeah. But looking back, I just think about having fun. It was something that we hope came through in the video, is that we were just having fun, and we take our music very seriously, but we're out here having fun. We're not taking anything too seriously. It's life,
I think you succeeded there. Definitely a lot of energy in that video.
But yeah, I love that you noticed and recognized that blue phone from the artwork in the video. I love that you mentioned that. Yeah.
Well, your spray painting was not for nothing. Somebody did notice.
I really appreciate it. I work hard on
it. Again, maybe another weird question. Your album is coming out on Friday the 13th. Is that significant to you at all? Or are you tempting fate?
I mean, we're looking to live a bit dangerously here on this Halloween time of year, but we're just, it was a day that we had seen on the calendar. We have some stuff coming up shortly after that, a couple of shows that we're excited to have the music out for. So Friday the 13th, it was something that, let's see how it goes. We're going to roll the dice on that date. Maybe some people will listen, maybe they won't, but it's Friday the 13th. So
we definitely talked about it. So
people will listen. People are waiting. I got to say, when I've added your songs to my public playlist and things, I do get lots of positive feedback from people saying, this is great stuff.
That's amazing. Thank you for adding them to the playlist as well.
We really appreciate that.
No problem about that at all. Again, keep making great music and I will keep listening. So of the new songs, this might be like picking favorite children, but of the new songs, is there either one that you are particularly excited about?
I think all across the board, if you asked the whole band, we would all probably have to say Mountains Are Calling. There's just something about that song and the energy that we captured within that recording that we're excited about. We're excited to see how people respond to that one. Yeah,
it's very With Violet. And you can hear it from some of the clips that will be coming out by now you can go listen to the song, right? So, but it's just very with Violet. I think that we all worked really well together on it, and it just clicked.
But yeah, you know, you said the whole picking favorite children thing. Not news. I'm super stoked about.
Toxic Tiffany's got a huge sound to it that's like really fun and kind of reflects the asking for sound that we had on the first album. So I'm excited for that one too.
Talking about like the songwriting of that one in particular, Toxic Tiffany, our guitar player Matthew Cadigan, he often contributes music. Like he sends us the most awesome sounding guitar riffs and this and that.
With Money, Asking For, and now Toxic Tiffany and other songs, but they were all like some of our big like bangers, quotes around bangers, that those riffs were all like Caddy's first ideas that came in like that. And it Mountains Are Calling kind of, it also has that vibe at times, like in sense of, oh, this riff is just so sick, let's get that in there. And oh, like we brought this idea here, let's do this kind of thing. It just really, it's a great song. Yeah, not to pick your favorite kids, that to be said again, but it's deadly. It's we love it.
All right, I'm looking forward to it. I was curious about your songwriting process because you all kind of write together, correct? Which seems like that would be challenging to me.
Yeah, like Pete had mentioned, Pete and myself, we do a lot of writing together. We've been doing it for 10, 15 plus years and having fun doing it. And when we bring a song to the band, if it's something that Pete and I did together, it's amazing to see how it's affected by the group, you know, and affected in the best way. You know, everybody gets their hands on it and it suddenly becomes, oh, this is something that we could be doing. And it's cool, it's cool to work with 5 people. You know, it is tough at times. But like I mentioned, Matthew Cadigan and Hunter, he's a guy, they're both guys who bring a lot of music to the table. Myself, I often, these days in particular, especially, start with just a lyric or just a little melody in my head, and Pete complements that beautifully because I throw it at him and then he, you know, often adds music. So so that's kind of how we've been doing it the past little bit.
Yeah.
And then, you know, of course, it's never a finished lyric or anything. Pete and we're all adding and changing this and moving that. But it's an interesting process with the band.
Yeah. Specifically, I guess what it looks like is like we come in with that one idea, and it's usually either Sarah brings an idea, Caddy brings an idea, Hunter brings an idea, or Spencer and I bring an idea. Is that fair to say? and then what happens is, because Spencer and I meet at least twice a week together to write, we usually end up taking the bulk of like lyric writing or fleshing things out a little farther. And then it comes back to the band again. And then it just gets like picked and probed and ripped apart, which is fine. It's a really good experience because you kind of have to have a second, oh, well, I really like that. And it's like, well, why do you like that? Because is it actually that good? And so it's, you know, it's enlightening, and it's kind of almost like a demo process again. So we kind of go through like 3 stages of a song before we even get to our final product, which is really helpful for then when you're choosing your songs, because you've had all these great stages naturally because of the growth and the addition of new people and new minds.
Cool. I was curious where the song started in the sense of music or lyrics, because I know you guys have done some writing lately of poetry, so you know, lyrical type things. So for you, the songwriting could start in either place, either with the music or the lyrics. Music or lyrics.
Often lyrics for myself. I feel like you're a mixed bag. Sometimes, you know, you're 50-50 on what you're going to start with.
Definitely. I find sometimes too, like I'll come up with like a really stupid lyric, but like I like the melody, and then Spencer will be like, well, that'd be way better. And like, I mean, like I was singing the other day, like, somebody eat my fucking pizza. Sorry, I swore. But like, I just like that. I like that line. And so like, you know, bring it to Spence and we'll change that up and like do something fun with it. But yeah, I guess I'm 50-52-ish.
But yeah, paper. I'm a big notebook guy. I always have a notebook on me. If I don't have a pen, I'm looking for one. And I often like to just write great things down on paper.
He's got, how many books do you have?
I don't know. There's a good number of books that I've been working through, just notebooks. But yeah, keeping a lot of lyric down, and been doing it for a little bit.
Ever since grade 5.
Yeah, around then. Yeah, but
like literally, we have all those books.
Yeah, but Mountains, that started just in the studio. Me and you just working on that song, and we had been contributing and with the band all those 30+ demos that we were working on. And we just found a good groove one day, and that happened. Good groove. Yeah,
we were trying to have fun, and it happened.
I don't. It's a little bit with Violet aside, but I don't know if you want to tell people a little bit about your recent book.
Oh yeah, sure.
I mean, I'd love to. It's called Addictions Anonymous. It's a collection of poetry. That's something that we're super proud of. Talking about those notebooks, there's, there was a point where we were looking at a stack on a table, and I found myself wondering what is in these books, because at this point they're going to be an ugly paperweight, the first paper that is a paperweight. I don't know. What are we talking about here? So we looked through, and we were working on that for a long time, for a couple of years, and the process of applying to publishers and submitting the manuscript to publishers and hearing no. One big thing that's like huge in our songwriting process together is comfortability, and like being able to say to one another and say to the band, I don't like that, or I love that, or maybe we should change that into this, and being comfortable hearing no, talking about the poetry. We heard no so many times from so many publishers. And anybody who's out there working on anything, if one person doesn't like it, or one person says, no, I don't think that that's going to work, keep throwing it at the wall, and it will stick eventually. Because we were very lucky to sign a publishing contract with Olympia Publishers. They took a chance on the book. It's out everywhere now. You can get it at stores like Chapters. You can get it on Amazon.
Yeah.
And it's, we look at songwriting in a way that if you read that book and you listen to, the band's music or some of Pete's music, you might notice that, like, those might be written by the same guys. I often look at a song as just, or a poem, just, a song is a poem, but with music added, because lyrics are just flowing that way. A verse, a chorus. It's something we're proud of.
Very.
Yeah. But thanks for letting us talk about that a little bit.
Thank you.
Oh, no, I'm interested in that. And I have read your book, and I liked it.
Oh, thank you.
And I think what I want to say is that with Violet's lyrics, and well, Pete, your solo stuff too, more sophisticated than a lot of pop songs lyrically.
Thank you.
And so I think your skills in poetry translate to your songwriting for sure.
Deadly.
Thank you so much.
It means a lot.
That's very kind.
My tires we're getting pumped by
backing at your history again a little bit, and a little bit with Violet aside, you mentioned earlier about a background in musicals. I didn't see, but I remember hearing about Trump the musical. How does your musical history, or your history in musicals, influence with Violet, or does it at all?
Okay, so it definitely does. The way that it does, I think, mostly is showmanship and just like conscious choices. I think that like the theater is all about choice, and like making that, like, to sound like a super artsy loser for a second, like, but you have to make strong choices. And I think something that helps with Violet is that we make choices. Like we want, we want things to be definitive. And I think that that's something that not everybody gets when they are just like getting the garage band experience. So I think we're lucky to have that. And like Sarah did I think she did theater too when she was a kid, and she's definitely worked theater as an adult. So
the stuff that we've done, like Pete's been doing musical theater since he was a young kid, and like it's hard for that not to influence what he does now. Sometimes he sings something in the room, and Sarah likes to poke at him sometimes and be like, that was way too musical theater, and it just comes out sometimes. But I think it we're driving the car, we're steering the boat. We can let that influence take us where we want it to go.
Yeah.
But I think overall, like it's a nice touch that.
I think it also adds a storytelling touch.
Perhaps, yeah. But like, that musical, Trump the musical, that was quite the journey.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, a big project that we'd worked on. We were lucky to take that on tour, a few stops across the country. Yeah.
Musicals have also like helped us a lot in that way too, from a technical standpoint. Like Spence and I have touring just from that one experience, but we have touring experience and how to take 16 people across the country. So like we know what that means now for a band logistically as well. So musicals have helped us in a bunch of random ways, which is kind of annoying because you got to be angsty and hate them, right?
Well, you're a rock band.
Yeah, come on, mom.
I know you. Speaking about being out on the road, you've toured a fair bit of Newfoundland in the last couple of months, really.
Yeah, which was fun.
Yeah, we had an awesome time. We've been lucky to be invited back to Gander a couple of times since being out there. We just played Gander Days this past summer. We had a pretty fun time.
Yeah. Played the Rotary Art Center out in Corner Brook, and also
we were super excited to be in Woody Point. We're a part of the Writers of Woody Point Spring Thaw Festival. That stage, I don't know if you've ever been to Woody Point. Oh, you gotta get there.
I've been to Woody Point, never been there during the writers.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Well, yeah, you know how beautiful it is out there. The Heritage Theater, it's just such a great venue. We had such a fun time, and that was a nice little run across the island. It was kind of our first time doing that as a band.
Yeah,
and we're hoping to, put a bit more on the car and go a bit farther next time.
Big time.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm sure people will be looking forward to hearing you. And I guess I only really have one question left for you at this point. After your Sunday best, what's in store for us?
Oh.
After your Sunday best, you can expect a full-length album. I think I can say that.
I think so, yeah.
In the new year, we're putting out a full-length album, and some details will come in the coming months about that. But there's going to be a lot of new songs on that album. There's going to be some familiar ones that but new music. A lot of shows. I think we're going to be planning some tours. We're going to be trying to hit the road, and we're going to be fresh off of a music celebration week, I think, depending on the timing. So we're just hoping that we have a good year coming up.
Yeah. We're also going to be giving everybody a Christmas gift, but I'll leave it at that.
We love Christmas music. A December parade and your New Year's song sit on my playlist for Christmas. Was it last year or the year before they came out first?
I think it was the year before.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank
you listen. The thing with a Christmas song is you listen to it year after year, so you forget when you started listening. I will be listening to them again this year.
The new song went really well last year.
Your solo Christmas stuff too is great and been on my playlist, and people can check that out too, because I keep all my Christmas posts are still active on the website. So there's a post there about your Christmas stuff. And I think I will probably be making a post about some Halloween music, and you've helped us out in that way.
The ghost goes boo. It's what a ghost does say. That one was a lot of fun.
It's a great fun to listen to. Definitely some Thriller vibes in there.
And musical theater vibes for sure too.
Well, thanks so much, guys, for taking time for me. I know it's an incredibly busy time of year and an incredibly busy year for With Violet. So I appreciate you making some time for me.
Thank you. Like Pete just said, thank you for taking the time to chat with us. Thank you for adding our music to your playlists. Thank you for everything you're doing. Thank you for supporting the arts. Thank you for making it yourself. Thank you. It
means a lot for you to have us. We appreciate you taking the time to talk to us.
I don't know if it was evident listening to that, but I had so much fun talking to them. Pete and Spencer FitzGerald were an absolute pleasure to interview. If you're not familiar with the music of With Violet, change that right away. Go listen to Mountains Are Calling and Your Sunday Best right now. It's streaming everywhere, and you can find it at withvioletband.com. The band's on social media too. Follow them. They're at With Violet Band. You can get links to the music, the band, the book Addictions Anonymous, and Pete's solo work in the podcast description. Oh, and in the lead up to Halloween, the song Pete mentioned, The Ghost Goes Boo, is on the productofnewfoundland.ca Songs for a Spooky Season playlist, alongside other end-of-October sort of songs from Newfoundland and Labrador artists. I just put end of October songs in air quotes. I did even though you can't see me. I don't know why. Anyway, there's a link for the playlist in the description. Now it's time for something different. Something monstrous. I'm capping off each episode this season with a segment I'm calling Monstrous Things, where I recount a tale of a Newfoundland sea monster reported in the mainstream media. Sometimes the creatures reported are outright mysteries. Other times, maybe, what was seen was an exaggeration or misidentification of a known animal. This time, I'm taking my cue from With Violet. In our chat, Spencer talked about how beautiful Woody Point on the shores of Bon Bay is. I totally agree, it's incredibly scenic. But in 1943, people were more interested in what was lurking beneath its waters than in any view of the mountains. There's considerable excitement in Bon Bay over the appearance of a strange and vicious fish which seems to be terrifying even whales, begins a story in the Bay Roberts Guardian on July 31st, 1943. The newspaper describes an unidentified whale-like creature lurking in the bay. The animal had a twisted horn like that of a cow, extending 3 feet from its head. The creature managed to drive one whale ashore in Norris Arm and perhaps attacked another. According to account by a Mr. Harding of Norris Point, after a whale surfaced near his boat, it submerged only to resurface moments later in a 30-foot circle of bloody water. It seems the unknown creature had attacked it. What became of the creature after the attack is unknown. Do you have any thoughts as to what exactly the Bon Bay beast might have been? If so, drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear. And that's it for this episode. We've covered some ground again, from outer space to Old Perlican to the depths of Bon Bay. Thanks again to Spencer FitzGerald and Pete of With Violet for joining me. You can listen to Your Sunday Best right now, and you really should. Till next time, keep watching the skies and the seas, I guess. I don't know.